I'm sorry?
The audio is coming up from right here.
Okay.
And you're going to hear Scotty Rogers, who's our Director of Communications, who will be the...
All right.
He'll open the press conference, introduce you, make a quick open, and we'll get to questions.
Welcome to the 2021 College Football Playoff Semifinal at the 86th Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, a rival news conference featuring Alabama head coach Nick Saban of the #1 Crimson Tide. For the media attending, please use the raise hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. Coach Saban, while we get questions ready, can you talk about the spirit of your team as your squad has traveled to and now arrived here in North Texas?
Well, I'd certainly, first of all, like to wish everyone a happy holiday. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope that you all enjoyed it as much as we did. It's a great time for family. It's a great time to have gratitude for all that we should be thankful for, and we're excited about the opportunity that we have this week here in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Rick Baker and the entire staff for all that you do to create a very positive atmosphere for our team is certainly appreciated. Our players have worked hard, all year for this opportunity. I think, we had good practices before Christmas, but I think that it's time for everybody to realize that, we're here in Dallas. Now's the time. It's game week. We need to get ready to roll. And sort of get recentered for what we want to try to accomplish and what we want to try to do. I think the legacy of any team is how you finish, and that's how you'll be remembered. So it's a great opportunity that our players have, and now it's time to focus on taking advantage of it.
If you have a question for Coach Saban, please use the raise hand function and we'll get to your question. Our first question will come from Charlie Potter from Bama Online. Charlie, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Just wondering if you had an update on Coach O'Brien and Coach Marone. Were they able to travel with you guys?
Right. No, we're using the same protocols that we used in the past, for COVID situations, and they will do all their work and coaching virtually with players, very similar to the way I did it when I tested positive before the Auburn game a year ago. They will join us, I think, the evening of the 29th or 30th or whenever their time is up before the game. So they'll be here for the game. I think they're both doing well. No one is, really that bad sick that they can't function and do things that they need to do with our players. In the meantime, Joe Pendry will be on the field to work with the offensive line, who has been here for a long time and was a former offensive line coach for us. And the two coaches that are gone will Zoom practice and Zoom the meetings and do all the things that they need to do.
Coach, your next question is going to come from Maxwell Donaldson with the Tuscaloosa News. Maxwell, go ahead with your question.
Coach, I was just wondering if you could give an update on any injuries you guys have.
No, I think you guys know about all the injuries that we have. There's nothing of any significance that I could remember that's new or someone who's not going to be able to practice this afternoon that you don't already know about.
Okay, Coach, your next question is going to come from James Hill. James, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and the guys are well. When you look at the Cotton Bowl, and it's a great opportunity, can you just talk about this process, this game coming up, and again, you can move forward to a national championship, but it's all about the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, this is when you're in the playoffs, it's all about what's happening now. It's what's in front of you right now. This is one of those, you either win or go home, type situations. And I think players need to understand that. This is a great opportunity for our team. They've worked hard all year. I appreciate the effort, the adversity that they overcame the things that they need to do to get here. But you didn't, come this far to get this far. So now's the time that you have to realize that, we have to be the best we can be as coaches, and every player needs to do the best they can to create the habits that'll help them be the best player when the game comes. And they're playing against a very good team and a well-coached team, and a team that's, undefeated and had a tremendous amount of success all season long. So it's not going to be easy. It'll be a real battle. And our players have to prepare themselves the right way for that.
Coach, your next question is going to come from Mike Rodak with AL.com. Mike, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, Nick, just wanted to ask about any players, if there's any sort of spread among the team and, stemming from the two coaches that tested positive, any other players that might need to quarantine or isolate because of that?
No, I mean, I think, everyone has to adapt and be able to manage circumstances that come up that are a little different on a day-to-day basis, whether it's a player missing practice because he has a stomach virus or a coach testing positive for COVID. I think that everybody's ability to stay focused on the task and manage their business the right way and do everything that they can from a protocol standpoint to not put themselves at risk so that they can stay safe. But we don't have any other issues that we know about. We've got some guys traveling from different spots, here today, and we're all going to gather up at 1 o'clock. So, if something comes up then, we'll let you know.
If you have a question for Coach Saban, please use the raise your hand function. The next question will come from Michael from AL.com. Michael, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, just have there been any changes to the precautions of the protocols that you guys have followed, or have they changed or advanced in the past week with the new variant involved?
No, I mean, we implemented the mask, the social distancing in meetings with players way back when we started. So we're already doing all the protocols that we feel we possibly can. Our team's all been vaccinated. 92% of our players have also had boosters. But we have encouraged them to use the same practices that we had to use a year ago, whether it's wearing a mask in meetings, wearing a mask when you're not in the building, social distancing when we're in meetings. So if there were some new protocols that would help us be safer, we'd certainly implement them, but I think we've tried to implement all that we know that has worked in the past.
Coach, your next question is going to come from Haley Sutton from WSFA TV. Haley, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach. Second year in a row, you get to play in Dallas and play at AT&T Stadium. Is there anything that stands out to you about that venue, or maybe something special about playing in Dallas?
Oh, it's special to play here. It's a special stadium. It's a special city. It's a special place. There's a lot of special people here that do a great job of making this very accommodating for the players in a very positive way. I think, playing in this atmosphere and environment here in the past has been, a great experience for our players. So we're excited to be here.
If you have a question for Coach Saban, please use the raise your hand function and we'll get to your question. Oh, here we go. Coach, your next question is going to come from Bobby Nightingale. Bobby, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Coach. Just what are your impressions of running back Jerome Ford, just from his time in the program and then kind of what you've seen from him this year?
All right. Well, we thought Jerome was an outstanding player when he was with us. He had, some success with us. And I think he's done a really, really good job of continuing to develop as a player. He's got great speed. He's physical. He makes people miss. He can run with power. And he's had a fantastic year. And I'm really happy that, things have worked out well for him where he could create value for himself in terms of the goals and aspirations that he had. And he'll certainly be a challenge for us in terms of our defense being able to stop, their offense, and he's certainly a key part of what they do in terms of their running game. And he's also a good receiver, so he's a very good all-around player.
All right, last call for questions for Coach Saban. If you have one, use the raise your hand function and we'll get to it. We have a question from AP Statham from WHEP Radio. Go ahead and ask your question.
Merry Christmas, Coach.
Merry Christmas.
Coach, when you watch the film of the quarterback of the Cincinnati Ritter, do you look at the entire year, or do you go back to maybe the Georgia game, or do you kind of concentrate on this year's production?
Now, we've watched them, some in their last year game. We certainly watched the Georgia game, which I think they did an outstanding job against a very good Georgia team, a very good Georgia defense. We've watched most of their games this year. When you have this sort of extended time period, you have a lot more time to sort of look at what teams have done, what their history has been. But their players do a great job of executing what they do. They've got a very good offensive scheme. I think it starts with the quarterback. He's really smart. He puts them in the right play a lot. He changes the protections. He recognizes what the defense is trying to do, and for the most part does a really good job of taking advantage of it. So, and he's done nothing but play, better and better and better as this year actually wore on, and he continued to develop.
We have two more questions for you, Coach, and we're going to let you go. Our first one is going to come from Ken C. Ken, go ahead and ask your question. Ken, you need to unmute yourself and ask your question. Go ahead, Ken.
Coach, Ken Capps, Football Writers Association of America, welcome to Texas. What was your team's change in mindset, do you think, after the loss to A&M?
I think that one of the most difficult things to do is probably deal with success. I think most of the time when you have a negative thunderbolt, people are much more willing to respond and do the things that you've been trying to get them to do to the standard that you've been trying to get them to do it. And I think we won something like 19 games in a row. I think that happened one other time where we won that many games in a row and had a very similar loss at South Carolina, where the other team really played well and we weren't up to the task. And I think there were a lot of lessons learned in that. I think, sometimes when you win, you lose respect for winning, but really what you lose respect for is what it takes to win, what it takes to prepare to win, and to respect the challenges that the other team certainly brings, so that you can go out and play well from start to finish, which is what you need to do on a consistent basis when you play against good teams, especially in difficult environments to play in, and that was certainly a difficult environment to play in. So I think we matured some as a team. I think we gained a little respect for what it takes to be successful, and I think our players have done a little bit better job of trying to create the right habits so that they could play with consistency and performance, which, sort of defines success. And they had to overcome a lot of adversity to be here. We surely didn't get it done that night, but I'm kind of proud of the way they responded and what they've been able to do to get here.
Coach, your final question is going to come from Oscar from Claro Sports. Oscar, go ahead with your question.
Hello, Coach. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Here in Mexico and Latin America, football is a great passion. Alabama have a big fan base. Could you say some words to all the people in Latin America who follow the Crimson Tide? Thank you so much. And again, Feliz Navidad, Coach.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. We certainly appreciate all the support that we get wherever it comes from internationally, and certainly any Latin American folks that follow the Crimson Tide and have helped support us, through the years, and especially this year. we appreciate more than you know. I hope you're having a great holiday season and continue to enjoy yourself and have a happy new year.
Coach, thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's it from Coach Saban today. A full transcript along with video and audio files will be distributed via email and posted in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic section of the College Football Playoff Media Portal. To gain access to the portal, please send an email to licensing@catapultsports.com. Thanks for joining us.